In this video tutorial, I will show you how to complete the Departmental Assessment Survey and accompanying inventory workbook step by step. If you are struggling with completing either document, this video leads you through exactly what you need to do so you can complete the survey and inventory workbook in a timely manner. Let's get started. You should have received an email from our survey partner, Medallia, with a link to the survey. If this email is not in your inbox, first check your junk mail. If you did not receive it, or if you have trouble accessing the link, it is possible your IT department has not yet whitelisted the survey link. If that is the case, contact the Guidehouse team for further assistance. Our contact information can be found on the project page. The link will open in your browser to the Introduction and Instructions page. Make sure to read this page in its entirety before selecting the blue Start button at the bottom of the page. You will need to select the blue Next button at the bottom of each page to continue through the survey. You can also select the Back button if you'd like to go back to a question to change your answer. The survey auto-saves your response progress, enabling you to complete the survey in multiple sittings as you gather the required information. On the next page, you will complete the personal information boxes, which will allow us to track which departments have completed the survey and who is responsible for its completion in case we have questions. Keep in mind, only managers and supervisors should complete this. It is necessary to fill in all boxes before moving to the next page. Now it's time to download and complete the L&D Departmental Inventory Workbook. You must complete the L&D Departmental Inventory, which is in the form of an Excel workbook. Download a copy of the workbook and save it locally using the naming conventions provided here in the instructions. You will not be required to upload the completed workbook until the end of the survey, so you can complete both the rest of the survey and the workbook simultaneously. This inventory workbook asks for data that may require you to coordinate with various colleagues and run reports. Please review the workbook as soon as you download it so you can plan accordingly to meet the deadline. Again, the survey automatically saves your responses, so you can exit and come back to it before, during, or after you have completed the workbook. There are 4 tabs within the workbook: README, Definitions, Leadership, and Other Mandatory. The README tab contains an instruction to the efforts and instructions on how to complete the workbook and workbook details. The Definitions tab contains definitions to help clarify the requested information in the Inventory Workbook tabs. The Leadership Biennial and the Other Mandatory tabs request information regarding training currently offered, who is responsible for developing and delivering the programs, the associated costs, and methods for evaluating the success of each training. You will need to answer all prompts with the most accurate and up-to-date information from your respective departments. In the Leadership tab, please provide answers to the questions focused on biennial leadership trainings offered that satisfy the leadership development requirements in GC 19995.4 and CalHR's policy L&D 2801, both of which are linked in the Definitions tab. We are primarily interested in trainings that are used to fulfill the biennial requirements. Though we know many leaders may use things like books and TED Talks to fulfill these hours, please do not include this information on this tab. We also understand that you may not track all of this data, so please complete as much information as you are able to on this tab. In each row, please provide the requested information for each relevant training. On certain columns, the options you select may gray out or open the next columns. If the cell is grayed out, you do not need to complete that cell. For example, this example training is a subscription-based training on LinkedIn Learning. So in the drop-down menu, the subscription-based cost is selected. As you can see, questions 3.3 to 3.6 are grayed out, meaning I do not need to include cost estimates for this training. However, if I were to select based on cohort cost, here you can see that 3.3 to 3.6 open for entry, so I should answer those questions. In the Other Mandatory tab, please provide answers to the questions focused on all other mandatory trainings and courses offered by your department that do not align with the requirements in GC 19995.4 and CalHR's policy L&D 2801. This should include training required by any law, code, or policy. For example, this should include training for peace officers required by law, as well as ethics training required by departmental policy. All the questions on the Other Mandatory tab are the same as on the Leadership tab. Once the workbook is complete, you will attach it to the last question on the survey. So let's switch back to the survey view. We will not be walking you through all of the survey questions between when you download the workbook and then upload it. But just a reminder that you can come back to the survey as many times as you'd like. The survey will save answers in place, and you are able to navigate forward and backward at the bottom. If you can't move forward on a survey question, it's likely that question is required and will need an answer before moving forward. Here you can see that you will be asked to upload your completed workbook and check the acknowledgement statement. You will then see a green ribbon that states Upload Complete once the file is successfully uploaded. Finally, please provide any additional comments or concerns you may have about the survey. We have now gone through how to complete the Departmental Assessment Survey and Inventory Workbook. We are here to help, so please reach out to the Guidehouse team if you have any questions. Your efforts will help us design an impactful strategic plan. Thanks for watching.